Hello everyone, this is Halloween Crazy, and I'm doing my first unboxing for the 2021 season. Um, my first prop this year is going to be the Inferno Reaper. He is sold at Home Depot for $199 or $200. I ordered mine online and it got here within like 3 to 4 days, which isn't that bad. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And it was free shipping too, so I would like to say that is very nice for Home Depot, and they had a great lineup this year. So, to start off, you just saw some pictures of the box, and now you were looking at, on the top of the box, the cardboard box, there is instructions, which is pretty interesting. This is on the outside of the box, so the, FedEx person or whatever is able to see exactly what you bought, which is pretty funny. So I opened the box, and to my surprise, there was a white box inside of this cardboard box. It's still cardboard, but it was a nice clean white box, as you can see here. And I was really happy about that, because if the outside box was a little damaged, ripped during shipping, you'd still have the white box to keep it extra protected and for storage. Now, sadly, it doesn't have the pictures on it and the description and stuff like it will in store, because I ordered mine online. And I believe all Home Depot props online had the same thing, because they didn't want to, there's no point to, print the colored, like, pictures and stuff, which the colored one does look really cool, and I might actually just try to get a box for him, because it does look really cool, and this guy's a great prop this year. So I opened the box, and this is a photo I just snapped right when I opened the white cardboard box, and you can see they had a piece of cardboard on the top for protection. And I took a couple photos, so I took off the piece of cardboard, and this is what it looked like. You can see all the parts, like the chest piece, part of the scythe. You can see his instructions here, and then I did get a couple other photos of just like kind of what the box looked like after I removed the instructions, so you can kind of see. It was kind of a puzzle pieced in, so when I was removing things, it was a little hard to get out of the chest. I had to remove the hands and stuff first. Didn't want to risk scratching it. Here you can see I removed the cloth part. And you can see kind of how it was, and yeah. Okay, so I took everything out of the box and I laid it all in like a neat little pile, and I'm gonna read the parts list. It is in the instructions, that's what I'm reading it off of. So it says it comes with one base, 4 lower support poles, 1 hip frame, 1 cloak, 1 torso frame, 1 chest, 1 left arm, 1 right arm, 1 right hand, left hand and scythe pole, middle scythe pole, bottom scythe pole, scythe blade, head, hood, and adapter, which is, it looks like, I'm not sure what type of adapter it is. This is output 5.9V, 2.A. That's the output. Input is 100 minus 240 VAC. I don't know. Pretty confusing. So first I snapped a photo of the module, which is like his torso piece, and you can see that it takes the adapter, there's like a try me button slot, and there's a volume control. He is pretty loud, but I really would like, and I would have wished he had an external speaker jack, because, even if it was like $20 more, I would definitely pay it, because his audio is kind of low quality, like not really low quality, because his voice is just like very deep and stuff, but I really do wish I was able to use louder speakers, because although the speakers are loud enough when they're outside of my lawn, and I want to have him kind of in the middle of my lawn or like farther away from the street, and he's very tall, so he's like the centerpiece of my display this year. It's going to be fire themed. I would have liked to have added speakers, and I might try to like kind of open up the control box, listen to some haunters, and see if they know how I could add something, because his audio is really cool. He has very good phrases, but sadly, like I said, it's not the loudest, so if he's on my lawn and people are walking down the street, they're not going to probably hear him that clearly, especially if I want him to be my vocal point of the entire display. I also snapped a photo of his torso piece, if people are interested in what that looked like. You can see there's just foam, because just to keep it so that the poles aren't like scratching things inside the box. But yeah, so this I think has the same type of mechanism as Grimm. I'm pretty sure the same company made Grimm, and it's just a very very high-tech, great servo character. I'll talk more about it later. Here's another photo. You can see his base with the coverings on it, one of his arms, the box with his head in it, the cardboard box, and the little white paper box that has the adapter in it. Now here's a really up-close shot of his chest piece. He is a skeleton, so he has a rib cage. You can see that there's a fire effect in there, and they put some creepy cloth over. I just really love the detail on this guy. I personally think it's better than Grimm. I'll probably talk about it later in more depth, because I'm probably going to be repeating myself, but it's just great quality that went into this character. You can also see that now, instead of having a white sticker with like a black text on it, they have see-through stickers with white text on it. So I know a lot of people, and it annoys me, when they leave the stickers on and you just see like a white chunk on like the cloth, and it just looks really bad because they don't, I don't know, it might be OCD or something, but they have clear ones, so it's harder to tell if they're there, and you can take them off, of course, they're just stickers, but it's just something smart that they did. And I believe it's new. I'm not too sure. I haven't bought an animatronic from this company in a while. I'm pretty sure Seasonal Visions made this character along with Grimm. I know Grimm and the Inferno Reaper are made by the same company for sure, but I'm not too sure exactly who made it. I'm sure I'll find out after this video, but I believe Seasonal Visions, so yeah, so that's pretty cool. You can see there's his instructions right here. It was double-sided, but on the other side there's like only a little picture, but yeah. So now let's start with the actual setup process of the character. So first you want to take out the base. Now, and one of the corners in the front, you can kind of see it, it's blending in with the other poles. There is a pole sticking up, and that's where his scythe sits in, so it doesn't slide around. I was wondering if it would just like slide around or just would stay in place. Yes, it does stay, and like it goes inside that little hole or a peg sticking up. Now we're kind of going to make his frame or his legs. So for any newbies, I just wanted to explain how these work on Seasonal Vision characters, which I believe made this, not too sure. Well, anyway, Seasonal Vision does the same thing. But how it works is you push down that metal pin and or ball, and then you basically just slide down, and then the pin should pop back out spring-loaded, and then once it is in, it is locked in place. And there's 4 pulls for his leg. They're all the same, so 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, and then another, the same type of pull on top, 2, 2. Same thing, you want to just like you make sure the pegs pokes back out. And yeah, and once that is done, we will move on to the hip. Okay, so you're going to want to do the same thing with the hip. A lot of this video is just going to be kind of explaining how it is done, but you're going to use common sense and just do the same thing. I'll teach you how to do one thing, how to use the pin thing, and then you're just going to want to pin everything else the same way. I'm not going to explain it over and over, but you're going to want to basically use the same type of pin method and get the hip on, which is not like a hip frame. It has the hip frame on it, but it's really just his torso. It has a motor. You can see the bottom of the motor right here in this picture. I believe Grimm uses the same type of thing where he has his hip rotating, and yeah. So at this point, you're going to want to basically put on his costume over his legs and then just let it linger at the bottom of his feet area, because it would be harder to get that on after you put the arms on and his torso because it's so big. So you're going to put that on now and just kind of slide it down. Now you're going to want to get his upper torso piece, and you're going to want to look to the front of it. It has like a flat side. The back has like the hunchback type of look, but then the front side is flat. And with that flat side, you're going to want to basically lock in the front torso, which also has these like little, I guess you could say teeth or hooks, and that basically hooks into that little metal piece that you just saw. And you want to make sure it goes down all the way by jiggling it around a little bit. Mine wouldn't go down like smoothly because it's like a very tight fit. The torso is like, or the chest, I guess I should say, is up really against the torso piece. So once you get that down, we'll move on to the next step, which is lifting up his costume that we had on the ground earlier. You're going to want to basically lift it up, and you'll see there's a big gap in the front. There's a couple Velcro spots. I didn't take pictures, but there's on the bottom, like right where his spine kind of is, and then there's 2 on his like shoulder areas, and you're going to want to Velcro those areas in so that it is, very neatly looking, and his chest is like open, and you can kind of see like rips. You can see rips, and it just looks really cool. Then you're going to want to put his arm on. I only took photos of one arm, which is the one with the scythe, but they're basically the same for each side, except for one has the piece of the scythe in the hand and the other just has a skeleton hand. So basically you're going to want to put the teeth onto the little holes that are on the main torso part. Now this hand has a chunk of the scythe permanently on it. You basically just slide those teeth into the holes, and then that's going to be the scythe for now. And there is Velcro on the top. I did use this. The photo you're seeing right now is from the other hand, but there is Velcro on the top, and you basically want to adjust his arm cloth to kind of look neat. You'll see in another photo after I do the scythe, and you'll see how you want it to look neat and nice, so that when he's moving around, the cloth doesn't show any of his foam or any of his anything, mechanism-wise or metal. I personally didn't want to film me putting the scythe together or take photos of it because it is pretty tedious. But here's a picture of the instructions so you know what to do. It's basically just turning. You have the piece with the hand on it, which just like, with the teeth that goes into the arm. And then you just basically twist all of the other ones on. And there is a bottom one that has this picture you're seeing right now, has a hole, which is where the you put the scythe, and on the base there's that little piece that was sticking up like I mentioned before in the beginning of the video. Right now you put that in there, and it's nice because it's able to rotate around, and it's not like stiffly in there, and it won't like break the scythe or anything. It will just keep it in place, so it's not just like sliding around, and or it looks perfect basically. In this photo you can see how I have the scythe all put together, and you can see his skeletal hand in the other side, and you can see how I draped the creepy cloth with the black fabric over his arms to look very neat and good and not messy. And it just looks really nice, and it looks kind of like the pictures that would be on the box. It just looks like the display model or something. It looks good. Now we're getting into the fun part where I open the box to see the head. So it is in a cardboard box, and I believe Grimm has the same thing where it's just a cardboard box. The heads are basically identical. Of course, there's differences like Grimm. He has the eye turning, where this guy only has the light up eyes, and but they have the same like tilt, turn, up, down motions. Same like pole coming out, different paint, but I believe it's probably the same sculpt. Yeah. What you're watching right now is the head coming out of the box for the first time. You can see how detailed it is, how it's pretty big. The mouth does come back automatically, like close with the servos. His nice shiny eyes. Look in the back of his head. There's some Velcro for the hood, and you can see there's the metal pole, which has a flat side and a round side, and the back side of like the jaws and stuff is black. So that's pretty cool. So now what you're going to want to do for the Inferno Reaper is put his head on. So how you basically do that is you use that metal pole coming out of his head, which is kind of like a circular thing, and then you're going to put that metal pole coming out of the head, and you're going to want to put it in, and you're going to want to screw it in with the flat side facing to the back. There's a flat side and a round side like I showed earlier, and you're going to make sure that he's facing forward and the flat side is on the back. Now you can move his head with your hands, so I wouldn't just like screw it in so he's facing forward, because the motor, like I can move him to the left and that wouldn't be actually forward, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but you want to make sure that the flat's in the back and you screw it in. I didn't have to use a screwdriver, I just used my fingers because I'm not leaving it in there permanently. I'm going to put him in a box now because I'll wait till Halloween season. Yeah, so I was just able to use my fingers. But if it's windy, I would probably screw it in, and it's a pretty, advanced head, so I wouldn't want it to fall out or anything or blow away. And now one of the last things you have to do, you could have probably done it earlier, but just do it now, it doesn't really matter, is connecting all the corresponding wires. If you see like a red, orange, brown, you want to connect it with red, orange, brown, or just if it's in the head area, connect it to the head area. So right here you can see how you basically just snap them together and they should lock in place. Don't pull on these wires, they are pretty fragile. you don't want them popping out, and that's for the servo head right there, but there's also in his body. And there's one of the plugs that looks like an adapter in there that's for, I believe, his turning. It's a white one. Those two white ones connect together. There is one for the sensor, which is in his torso, chest area, right where his spine is. And there's also for the flame lights. So there's a bunch of wires in there. If you see like a little black one and you don't know where it goes, it's probably where his hip is, because mine was lost. And now finally, one of the last steps, and I didn't get a good picture of it, I don't even know why I'm showing this horrible picture, is putting his hood on. You basically just put it on, there's just one Velcro. It's not attached to his normal body or costume, you just have to Velcro it on to the top of his head. Now, before I move on to the real demo, right now it's just like a slowed down version for the background, but I would just like to talk about a couple things. He's $200. I'll probably make a review and express more of my feelings on him and other things like that, but he is really cool. I definitely would recommend for $200. I mean, this is the start of something big with servos. They're starting with skeletons now, the Grim and Inferno Reaper, but they might, make latex mask ones and stuff, or rubber masks, you know what I'm talking about. They might make masks on things, and they're just getting more advanced for cheaper prices. I know that, like, there's a company, I think it's like Fright Props or something, they would sell just the skeleton head for like $1,000, and now you're able to buy entire characters for $200. It's crazy, and it's good for us, bad for them. So I'm going to end off this video. I might make more. I believe I'm getting Mr. Dark in the future, and maybe Experiment 4 or some other, like, hellish props or interesting props for my theme this year. I won't be buying random werewolves or anything. It's going to just be strict to my theme. If you would like to see more videos like this, please leave a comment. If you don't want to see videos like this, please leave a comment. I don't know. And yeah, so here is a demo of, I think, one of his sayings, and then I'll make an official demo which will have all of the sayings. But so yeah, thank you for watching and enjoy.
You there, I have come for this. Your time on this earth is at an end. Prepare yourself, for your misery has already begun, and